What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, aka Benny P, with another Minecraft tutorial, and today we are going to be talking about this beautiful machine right here. And what this does is this makes a giant block of hardened concrete. So this is a concrete machine. So basically what you need to do is grab yourself some concrete powder, and you can grab it and just place it right on this block, and you continue to do so all the way down. And let's see if we can get a shot here of what we're looking for. And we should see this observer. Once it hits the observer, it should extend those pistons and push it all the way across. And you continue this process all the way until it gets down to this observer. When it gets to this observer, you can see it's going to push over like that, and I'll actually show you guys with real blocks. A good way to show what's going to work here, we'll go ahead and just throw in this, and you'll see when we get all the way to that observer, it's going to push the blocks up and over. So let's see if we can get a better shot of that here. So it should be one more, and boom, it pushes that block over. So now when we place blocks here, they push up and over, and it's going to make a giant cube of hardened concrete. And then the last little push over here is going to be another set of pistons on this side that push over and up. Let's see if we can get to that. We need one more, and then you'll be able to see what happens here. So did we build something wrong here? Is this that push limit? Because that would be bad. This was working before, I think. I might have built this one too far. So, to demonstrate this, these pistons can only push up to 13 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this will never hit that piston, but if it did, this is what would happen, and it would push it forward. So we need to make sure that on our build over here, we move everything one block this way. Sorry about that, guys. This is my first tutorial back after vacation. If you guys have been wondering where I've been at, I've been on vacation, so I may still have a little bit of that vacation spirit in me, and kind of the chill spirit, so maybe I didn't get that one exactly correct, but hey, we can fix it on this next one, and I'll show you guys exactly how it works. But anyways, that's the basic concept. It's going to build a giant block of concrete, so that's pretty much all we need. So let's count this again just to make sure we're right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. That's perfect because the last one we're going to push to is this block where all those pistons are going to be set at. So that looks perfectly fine now. So now let's start building this. But before we start, let me show you exactly what you're going to need for this build. So these are approximate numbers on some of these. This is pretty close to what you're going to need. I've been getting a lot of questions about, like, can you give us exact numbers? I can try. I might not get them exactly right. What I would say is if anyone wants to leave a comment down below with the exact correct numbers, I will pin your comment and I will shout you out in the next video. So if you want to take the time to actually see how many resources we use and put the exact amounts down in a comment, I will pin your comment and shout you out. So that's just a little incentive for you guys to watch the videos and kind of a fun game to play with you guys. So if you want to put the exact amounts down there, go ahead and do so. But you're going to need a bunch of building blocks. You're going to need about 26 redstone repeaters. You're going to need 4 observers, about 64, probably a little more redstone, about 56 pistons, a water bucket. You're going to need some 3 pieces of glass, 1 glass pane, and 22 pieces of obsidian. You don't need grass, but you will need some concrete powder to work this with. So let's go ahead and build this system. So what we're going to do first is we're going to build this section over here that actually does the initial pushing. So let me go ahead and show you guys how to build that. Alright, let's start out with the redstone circuit. So what you're going to need to do is put an observer right here with a block behind it, and then some redstone dust in these specific areas right here. Put a repeater into that and a repeater into that. Sorry, turn this repeater like this and then put this repeater on 1 tick, and that looks correct right there. Now what you're going to want to do is put your piston right here. And now what you should see is when you place a block here, it will push once. Just like that. So that's exactly what we want. That's the good way to test this. Make sure you break down a block in front of this observer, 1 down. That's where our water is going to go. So now what we want to do is we're going to place in our glass, just like so. You can do 3 pieces of glass, just like that. Now what you want to do is place in your water, and you should get 1 piston extend, and that's fine. Now we want to place a block here, temporary block there, a block there, and now this is where we use our glass pane right here. And that system is pretty much done. If you take out your white concrete powder, you can already go ahead and test this, and it will push every time you drop in a concrete powder, and you can kind of just get your rhythm down here and just keep knocking these in just like that, and then it will go all the way to right here, and it will stop there, because if we put 1 more in here, we're at the push limit now, so that piston can no longer fire. So let's go ahead and break this one so we can build in our next circuit. So the next circuit we're going to build is this one right here, going down to these bottom pistons. So basically, let's go ahead and put in our pistons first. So I'm just going to get rid of these blocks for now, so it's a little easier to place these guys in, like so. And then I think we're going to break these blocks like this, and we're going to put down solid blocks here as well. So let's just drop in a bunch of smooth stone here, and we're going to put our pistons directly on top of that, like so, all the way down the side, just like this, until we get to that last block. And we should have something that looks just like that. Now what you want to do is you want to put your observer down. So go ahead and place your observer, not like that, the other way. You want the redstone coming out of this side. Then you're going to want a repeater right here going into 1 piece of redstone dust, and then you want another repeater here going into a block with a redstone dust here, and another repeater pointing into there. And I believe this is the timing for these ticks. Let me go check real quick. Yeah, so these 2 should be on 1 tick, and then this one should be on 1 tick as well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start going down here, because what we want to do is we want to connect this up to these pistons. So what you're going to do is actually you're just going to take a redstone repeater straight out of this block. So when this block gets powered, it's going to power this repeater. And now what we want to do is we want to take redstone straight out this way, and we're just going to do just like this all the way across, all the way down on each one, and then we're going to drop in our redstone just like that. You should have a redstone line that goes all the way down, and then you want to put repeaters on where each piston is, just like this. So you should have something now that looks like this. And a good way to test this now is we can put 1 block right here. You should see every piston fire, but the timings here aren't quite correct, so let me work on these timings, because we want to make sure that we only fire this once, not twice. So I think what we really need is that. So this should be 1 tick, this one should be 2 ticks, and this one should be 1 tick. That way, a good way to test that is it should only fire once. So these pistons should only push once, just like that. So that's a good way to test, make sure your timings are right. Again, 1 here, 1 tick here, 2 ticks here, 1 tick there, in that perfect circle, just like that. So that is pretty much it for that piece. And now you have a working system where you could actually just do what I've done already. If you don't want to make the extra block effort to make the big blocks, you can push this all the way across, and you'll see when we get down here, it will eventually hit that observer and push across. And this will go all the way to here, maybe even this block, and stop. And then you could just mine that 1 row. But what we want to make is a bigger section here. That way we can mine multiple rows at once. So next step is, let's take a look at this redstone down here. This is the one that we just did. Yeah, we have repeaters straight in like that. All that looks great. We have that all buttoned up. Now what we want to do is we want to take a look at this next row of pistons. So these should be flat, straight up like this, and then an observer on the end with another observer clock here to make this only fire once. And then that's going to go into these lines of pistons, and then we're going to run another line up to this row of pistons, and that's what's going to do our little push mechanic where it pushes over one, like so. So that's what we need to do now. So let's grab our pistons, and we're going to run a row of pistons just like this, all the way down, almost all the way down, pointed straight up, just like that. Now what we want is we want an observer right where this piston is. So go ahead and plop down an observer right there. That looks perfect. Now what we want to do is we want to set up our little repeater guy here to block the signal when it comes back around. That way this repeater only fires once. So we're going to want a repeater going straight into there, and another repeater going this way, and then a block right there, and then one piece of redstone right there. And I think this one is one tick there. Let's check. So no, actually this is exactly the same way we did it down there. So one tick here, actually this one's a little different. One tick here, 4 ticks there, and 3 ticks right there. So let's go ahead and do that over here. So we have 1 tick coming out. This one's all the way on 4 ticks and 1 tick there. Double check that. That looks correct. Let's give that a shot, and let's see what we get. So now if we put a block here, we should see that only fires once, which it did, so that's a good sign. And then we want to run a redstone line just directly off of this. So come out 2 blocks like this, 1, 2, and then you can run your redstone straight down this line just like so. Let me double check that that's correct. And then what you're going to do now is just, we don't need this block here, you're just going to run your redstone line just like this all the way down, and we should see when we place one here, all those should fire up, and that's working correctly. Looks like our timings are a bit off here, so maybe we need 1 more tick here. And let's try that. Yeah, that's perfect. So then this is 1 tick, 4 ticks, 3 ticks right here. So just make sure your observers are in this exact ticks, pointing the exact direction they're pointing now, and you can test it to make sure it only fires once. And that's exactly what we need. Now we need to set up our redstone for this next part up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put I'm going to put a block right here on this piece of redstone, and then a block there. And what this is going to be for is for our next redstone line. So our next redstone line is going to come straight off of this one, but we need 1 tick delay on this repeater, or a 0 tick delay on this repeater right here. And then now what we're going to do is we're just going to run our pistons straight off of this. So if we put pistons, sorry, we got to go 1 block higher than that. So if we put pistons all the way across here, just like this, actually they need to wait 1 more block in, just like so. And then we're going to go up a block right here to put our redstone on top of that piston. So now you should have something that does this. So if you push it up, it will push, and then it'll push 1 block forward. And that's exactly what we want right there. So now we can just run our pistons all the way down, just like so, and then run our redstone straight on top. And what I like to do to test these is you can put 1 block over here and make sure it does the same as the block on the other side. So we pick a block here and a block here, we should see those both get pushed up and over, and that is a perfectly valid test. Alright, so we need to go 1 further in on this one. So we need to make sure that our pistons are on this block right here. So we're going to put our pistons here, actually, not where they're lined, not at the edge of the green, but right there on that block. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're just going to dig down 1 right here, just like this. And all your pistons are going to go straight up, facing straight up, just like so. All the way down to the end. And then you should have something that looks like that. And that looks perfect. So now what we want to do is we want to do our repeater off the end of that. excuse me, our observer, and make sure that the redstone dot is pointed this way, and then we're going to go out of this with one piece of redstone, and then one going in this way, and then one coming out this way, and a block here, and one more redstone dot right there. Let's check our timings for this one. Looks like we have something like this. 1 tick, 0 tick, out. So then that's going to be 0 tick, 1 tick, 1 tick, and we can test this now and see if we're getting the desired effect. So if we put one here, actually we're going to have to go ahead and run this redstone line, so that's fine. Let's dig one more down this way, all the way down, all the way across, and I don't think we have another repeater down there. I think the signal strength will be strong enough. So we're just going to run this redstone line straight down, just like this, all the way down. And let's place a block right here to see if it gets pushed up at this end, and then we'll place this block in. Well, that one got pushed, and that one got pushed. It's only shooting this piston once, so we know this system is working correctly, so we are good to go there. So now what we need to do is, we're good with this part of the system. Now we need to make this second piece, just like we did on the other side, that kind of comes up and over. So what we want to do is we're going to place one block here, and we're going to come all the way down with a row of blocks just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place another row of blocks on top of this row, just like that. And then now place all your pistons in like so. Now we should be able to put one repeater right here, and then put all of your redstone straight in like so. Now we should see when we put in a block, it should fire this piston once, this piston once. And that's exactly what happened. So let's put one down here and one down here and make sure that they both fire. That looks perfect. Alright, now what I want to test is make sure that this block will make it all the way here, fire there, and then come back this way. And then we'll know that our pushing part is done and dusted. So let's just keep testing this until we see that it makes all the way to that observer. The redstone part of this is pretty much done. So that was super easy. And yes, we can see that we actually are getting it pushed back this way. Now, what I would suggest now is grab some obsidian blocks. You're going to need 22 of these, because we're going to place these above our extended pistons this way. Are ones that are extending up, because we don't want it to infinitely extend up when we've placed in enough of these guys. It wouldn't infinitely extend up, it would extend up to the push limit, but we want to go ahead and block that off. So what we're going to do is, right on the edge of this redstone, you can put a block, and we're just going to run this straight across just like this, because we don't want blocks to come any higher than these pistons. So we can go ahead and break out these test blocks. We don't need those anymore. And now what we need to do is we need to do the same thing over here. I'm just going to put a temporary block right here, and then obsidian on top of that. And now we're going to run a row of obsidian right here, because we don't ever want to go above this piston on this side. So that is your farm 100% done, guys. So now you can grab your white concrete powder, or whatever concrete powder you want to use. You could use multicolored concrete, but you're gonna get a ton of this stuff in one run. So I don't know exactly how many stacks it is. If you guys want to test that out, and put it in the comments. Again, you will get a shout out in the next video, and I will pin your comment to the top if you want to do that testing. Sometimes you will get a little weirdness where maybe it'll get stuck. That does not happen very often. I've only seen that happen once or twice. So once you get in a good rhythm, you can just sit here and AFK here like this and press down the trigger, or you could get an auto clicker and just have your auto clicker click here until it gets totally filled up, and then it won't be able to push anymore, and you'll be able to harvest all of this concrete. So this is specifically for 1.16, because in 1.16 some of the stacking on pistons with fence gate thing, Navy Nexus design, won't work in 1.16. So in order to get a ton of this stuff pretty quickly, this is kind of your best option. Of course, you could do a wither cage with withers that blow up stuff. You could do TNT, but we don't have TNT dupers in this version of the game. So this is a very simple, easy way to set up yourself a little farm that's going to allow you to just kind of sit here and then harvest all of these at once, instead of trying to like figure out how to like put all these in the ocean or some body of water and then go harvest them. This is a lot easier, and you can see it's just going to build up a giant row for you to keep doing. So again, you can just keep sitting here and doing this forever and ever until this hits the block limit, the push limit, which is going to be a lot of stands. I don't know why we're getting so many stops here. If you see that happening a lot, you may want to play with these two timings. Let me check my timings over here. I think they're exactly what they are there, but you can play around with these timings if you get a lot of blocks getting stuck like I saw there. You may want to play with your timings and then fix that way. But yeah, this works pretty good, guys, and I just wanted to give you guys as a concept this thing. It may not be the best concrete converter out there, but I think it's actually going to be pretty good, and it's going to get you guys a lot of concrete pretty quickly. So if you like this video, if you have some suggestions on how to clean up this redstone or do this a little differently, or ways to improve this concept, please leave them down in the comments. Let me know. I'm always here to improve. And then I think in 1.16 we'll have another interesting farm with the same kind of mechanics, basically the same farm, but we'll be able to farm some brand new blocks that come from the nether. So if you can think of the block that I'm thinking of farming here with this farm, go ahead and put it down in the comments, and I will tell you whether or not that you were correct. So if you can think of a block that we could farm in this similar fashion, that's a brand new block that we don't have in the game currently, but will show up in 1.16, please leave that down in the comments as a fun thing for you guys. And I know exactly why this is getting stuck. So if you put the wrong timings and it tries to push when this piston is extended, then the block will get stuck there. So you need to just make sure you have the right timings here. You're placing the blocks at the right time, like correctly spaced out, so that doesn't happen. So when this pushes right here, you can see, okay, now it worked perfectly, because we didn't have a block there when we tried to place another block here. So that's why it's getting stuck like that. If you guys have any tips on how to fix that, that would be cool. If not, please enjoy this farm. Go ahead and build it. It's not a very hard farm to build, guys. It does take a good bit of resources, but I think it's going to be worth it for you guys to build this in your worlds and get tons and tons of concrete. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of it, and we will see you in the next one. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate that when you guys do that, and hit the bell. That way you never miss a video from me, aka Benny P, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!